Hey YouTube, blessed be, this is Crescent Earth Dust here to show you my travel altar, which I handmade myself. This is the bulk of it. This is the actual altar part and contents. But I also take a bag, and in that bag is a knife and gardening gloves, mini incense and mini incense holder, and a little flute thingy. And I usually keep a blanket in there as well because my sacred space where I like to take my altar is in the middle of the woods, and there's poisonous plants and thorns and all kinds of stuff. So, let's start, I guess. I kind of chose to put that on the midnight area because it's supposed to be the witching hour, but the glue dried it kind of crooked, which is okay. And then I just put some decorative things on there. I thought it was really cool that the craft store had this, like, I can't pronounce it. I can spell it for you. Bead that I just put some feathers through. And then one of my favorite symbols is the fleur-de-lis. So I put that around the trim. And then on the top here, when you open the altar, you have a little, like, focus set up with the goddess and the god and some quartz crystals. And here's a list of things that I have and things that I want in here. Probably going to make a little mini book of shadows if that's at all possible. I don't know what I want to put in it just yet. This is a ton of lavender because who doesn't use a ton of lavender, and you can use it for everything. This is my little mini besom that I made from some pine needles at my school and some string. This is my lighter. I thought it was cute because it's a Taurus one, and I'm a Taurus, of course. Why would I have that otherwise, I guess? This is my altar bell for my traveling altar. Just got that at a little craft store. This is my offering bowl, complete with offering, because if I do want to bring it with me to travel, I never know where I'm going to use it, so I've always find myself without an offering. So I finally just had one in there. And I'll just, like, switch it out every once in a while, because it's crackers in a bag, so it shouldn't get stale. But it will, you know, after a while. This is cinnamon bark, actually, that I got from a Mexican market, and it was just the leftover parts after cooking some witch's brew that was, like, left over in the bag. There's a bunch of peppermint. Again, it's a pretty useful herb, so I have a good amount of it. I'm not sure how I'm going to get these to stand up yet, but these are my traveling god and goddess statue, and I actually noticed that I could put them on a necklace with my traveling wand, my holy stone, and my bell. So I might do that. Anyway, so here's this, and they came, I got them at a little New Age shop in town. They came with these pieces of paper that have blessings on them. So, thought those were nice. And here's my traveling wand. It's aventurine, because that's supposed to be the witch's stone. It was actually the first wand that I got and one of the first stones. And then here's my holy stone, which I got off of Etsy with a pack of like 5 of them. So 2 of them I gave to dear friends of mine, 1 of them I gave to my fiance, and then I have 1 that I use usually and 1 that's in my travel altar. Here's a dime for heads or tails, for flipping. I had my pentacle in here with a pentacle board, but I decided to take it out because it was the only one I had, and I decided that was just not what I wanted. I have some packets of salt that I thought were kind of nifty, so I just did that for my traveling salt. And, oh, goodness. Okay, I have catnip because I just had an abundance of it. I used to grow it, so just decided to put this in here and maybe use something nice for some wild kitties. And here is my portable scrying, I guess, crystal ball. It's a marble, which was given to me by a friend. It was actually also a protection charm, too. So, there's that. And then, oof, here's a little bead that I use for the marble stand. I also have, oh goodness, I also have a little skull that I got from a bead shop, so I can use that in appropriate rites. And here's my traveling pentacle. Isn't it cute? I got this from a New Age shop back in my hometown. So there's that. And ooh, I have a quartz, which, ooh, I keep dropping things, is just kind of for the whole package to keep it energized and nice. And I have a bunch of like citrine flecks throughout the bottom too, and some salt, I think. This cauldron I made myself in a ceramics class. I actually have some holes punched in the top in case I want to put like maybe something to carry it with. It has some stuff stuck in the bottom right now too, because my what's that stuff called? Charcoal doesn't light that well, so I've been having to light it with candles, so it makes it really hard to clean. I don't know how I'm going to manage it, but it's a work in progress, and there's a citrine in there if you can see it. And this is what I'm using for my pentacle right now. Pentacle, wow. Pendulum. It is a copper wrapped quartz necklace, which I got from an online shop that I wish I could remember the name of. But it is my traveling pendulum that I just recently got. And I don't have a pendulum board in here yet, which I will hope to change. So I thought this was clever. These are my traveling stones. They're just stone chips from my various stone bottles. And there is there's 2 quartzes, 2 citrines, a piece of sandstone, a piece of tiger's eye, a piece of garnet, a piece of carnelian, a piece of peridot, a piece of rose quartz, a piece of aventurine, and a piece of amethyst, and a piece of turquoise. So it's just miniature, which I thought was perfect. So I probably could tone down on my herbs if I really wanted to, but I just have not. So this is kind of a big bag for what's in here. This is just some ginger. And this is a little bit of red jasmine and red clover. This thing is driving me nuts. Okay. And this is cloves. Okay. So I have some ground cloves. I probably don't need that many. And some garlic, because I had an abundance of that as well. Probably don't need this big of a bag, but I really need to tone down on my herbs because they take up a lot of the room in here. And I still have some things I want to put in here. This is my traveling cone incense, which is dragon's blood, because lots of uses, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful incense. These are, give me just a sec. These are my traveling runes. If you've seen Charming Pixie's Flora's video to make runes from small beans, then there's that. I also have a couple of feathers. I have a white one and like a multicolored one for air. There should be actually in there a quartz and a citrine as well, but I cannot seem to find it. So with my cauldron, I have this little wooden spoon because I have a spell that I use pretty frequently that calls for a wooden spoon. So I just have that in there. It's actually from an ice cream shop. They give you the choice between a plastic and a wooden spoon. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm taking an extra wooden spoon. And there is my plethora of salt and quartz chips and citrine chips. This is the bottom. It's got a little raven because that's one of our totem animals. And this is just an altar cloth. I thought was beautiful. It's just black, but it also has some roses on it. So, that is my travel altar.